Hey everybody, how's it going? Toby here with my YouTube channel. For the longest time, my YouTube channel was called Titanic Toby T because I really didn't have a name that I wanted to change it to. But I think I'm going to change it very soon. And maybe even by the time this video is rolled out, it'll be a new video, a new channel. So I just wanted to address a couple things that I'm seeing in the gun community on YouTube. One of those things is there's not a lot of videos out there for bigger guys like myself. There's not a lot of videos kind of exploring the options for bigger guys, how things feel to bigger guys. There's all this tactical type stuff that you see these channels promote that are not made for people like me and for the average American. Fat guys want to be tactical too. So what I want to do is I want to explore a little bit of that, along with hopefully drop some poundage along the way to help me out with that. But the main thing is there needs to be a channel for the average guy. I don't make a lot of money. I don't have a lot of time. I have a full-time job. I carry a pistol with me or a handgun with me pretty much everywhere I go. A lot of times I have to leave that in the car due to work. I cannot take a handgun into my work. If I tried to do that, I would get fired. So I have to leave my handgun in my car, and there's not a lot of options for the type of vehicle that I drive on a budget to allow me to do that as safe as I would like to. I have to lock mine up in my console. When I say lock it up, I put it in there and I lock the doors. I have tinted windows. Nothing else is in my vehicle. Nobody knows that I carry a weapon, unless you're watching this YouTube video. But that's the best I can do. But the other option is to leave my handgun at home. And although I'm not too far away from my work, I don't want to do that. I don't want to take that risk. I don't want to risk leaving my handgun at home and not having it with me, even if it is not tactical to leave it in your vehicle. Oh, no, not leave it in your vehicle. Not leave it in your vehicle, in plain sight, of course, but it's in my vehicle. It is locked up. It can't be seen. I don't have a magnet holster. I leave it in a holster that I would use if needed. But that's just why I've seen a gun guy that's been around for forever. He's an angry gentleman. We'll talk about another angry gentleman shortly. This guy has taken a ton of class. If you watch his videos, he'll go down his resume of all the classes that he's taken and all the instructor classes he's taken. And that's all fine and dandy if you want to be military and you want to be law enforcement and you want to be this cool guy that teaches other people. I don't want to teach anybody anything other than, holy crap, here's a product that I found, or here's something that I found that works for bigger guys, because you just don't see that on YouTube. There are, years ago, some people were doing it, but they haven't done it in a while. And now it needs to come back, especially in these times. Right now, at this time, we're going through COVID-19. I'm sure we're all affected by that one way or another. So now's a good time to talk about what we can do to stay prepared as a big fella. Because big guys like us, hopefully you're a big guy watching this. If not, welcome skinny people. We're not going to take off running and do all the tactical crap that all these other guys do. Why? Because we'll be out of breath. We have to figure out what works for us the best way possible. Some videos that I watch, and I've been watching and doing research about this for a while, And I just don't understand how people have these classes, and when you watch their videos, there's nobody like us in those classes. Why? Because we would probably get ridiculed for being overweight. Oh, you're overweight. You got it. That's the first thing you got to do. Well, guess what? You can't change it overnight. We didn't get big overnight. You can't change it overnight. So what can we do to work with what we got right now? Secondly, classes. Take a minute and look up classes for tactical response, or I'm a big fan of Kerry. I'm not such a big fan of tactical response. That's just my personal opinion. That's probably a great guy. I just think he comes off wrong to me. Kerry Trainer, really like what he talks about, and I'd really like to take one of his classes because he's not so much tactical as he is shooting and being precise and knowing your weapon. That's pretty important. I watch Hickok 45. I'm gonna tell you what, I don't see how you could knock that guy. He doesn't try to sell you anything. All he does is talk about guns and how he likes those guns and what those guns do. And he shoots a lot. And he has his Sunday shoot around. It's just, the kind of YouTube channel that I would want to have. I'm not looking for free products from anybody. If that comes along with this channel, hopefully it grows, great. Especially products for bigger folks. As you noticed, I'm not wearing any type of shirt with a gun on it or a company logo. Well, why? Well, because those aren't readily available for the bigger community. Most of those shirts go up to a 2X. I remember the 5th grade when I was in a 2X. Unfortunately, things didn't work out for me the way I would have liked, and I got bigger over the years, and here I am, and 2X just isn't going to work. So these companies need to start realizing there is a market for bigger gentlemen out there. So that's just kind of a rundown. Some other things that I want to talk about. We'll show this is clear. I want to talk about weapons, and I want to talk about what weapons I carry, what I like, what's good for me, what is comfortable, how I carry them, being a big guy, the holsters that I use. And I just kind of want to talk about that a little bit so that folks know going in as a bigger guy what another bigger guy has and what they use that works. And I think that's very important. Obviously, when you go into a gun shop, it's not much on the shelves nowadays, but you go into a gun shop and people want to sell you the smallest, most concealable gun that you could possibly carry, and sometimes with meaty hands that doesn't work. And gun shops aren't trained in recognizing someone and saying, okay, hey, a Hellcat would be great for this person, and really it's the only thing I have right here that I could sell them, and I want to make a sale today, so I'm going to sell them a Hellcat, knowing damn well that they might not get their big beefy hands on a Hellcat, or an M&P Shield. There's another one. As a bigger guy, I wouldn't recommend that. I wouldn't recommend that for a first-time gun owner that wants to protect their family with home defense. I wouldn't recommend a Hellcat. I wouldn't recommend a Shield. But we'll talk about what I would recommend, hopefully in my second video. Some other things I wanted to talk about. If you're on YouTube, real quick, something I did get kind of cool. I decided to get some training rounds, and these just got off Amazon. I don't know, ST Action Pro 9mm orange dummy rounds. Those are important to train with. You can train with them in your dungeons, like I'm in now. You can train with them on the range. You could load your mags well before you go to the range with some dummy rounds, and that way when you go with your training mags and you're rolling through, you'll have a failure to feed or a I can't think of the word right now, but you'll have to tap rack clear. It's what everybody says to do, right? Well, something else that I've noticed is that all these guys on YouTube and their Facebook channels, they talk about all this training and drawing from the holster and all this other great sounding stuff. It all sounds just perfect. But I live in the city and I go to my gun ranges, whether it's an outdoor range or an indoor range, and you can't draw from the hip. You can't draw from the holster. You can't practice anything. It's pretty much you shoot some paper and you leave. How is that helping anybody in a defensive situation? It's not. So that's something else I want to address as we go forward with this channel. I'm going to take it more serious. I'm going to at least make one video per week, maybe two, depending. Like I said, everything I get, I'm going to buy. Some stuff that I have, I want to go over. I have a couple range bags that work, but one works better. So I kind of want to talk about those stuff that I bought with my own money. Something else I want to talk about real quick before I let you go, and I hope that this video gets out there. I hope that you'll like this video, you'll subscribe, no matter what your size, color, creed, doesn't matter. Join my YouTube and at least make fun of me a little bit. There's a couple people out there right now. I've already addressed one. Tactical response, I'm not too much of a fan of. And he seems like an okay guy, and he's taken tons of classes, and he seems like he knows what he's talking about, but I just don't like the way that he comes off on his YouTube channel. And I looked at his pricing for the training. I think I mentioned that earlier. Pricing for this training is outrageous. These guys don't want to get anybody better. They don't. They want to make money. And I get it. I understand it. That's what America's all about. But don't come off like you want to make people better and you're part of the 2A community. No, you want to make money. You could still make money and drop your prices in half. You could drop your prices in half and still make money. But they don't choose to do that, a lot of these guys. They want people to pay big to come to these classes. How's that helping anybody except you? But, I don't know financials. Maybe they have, they have other folks and other trainers they have to pay. I get it. But there's nobody out there helping. They're just all trying to make money, all these guys with classes. If you know somebody that has a class that's reasonably priced and that is all about helping the community, let me know. I'd like to take a look at it and maybe sign up for a class. I think I am going to do a carry trainer class. I know he comes to Terre Haute, Indiana, which is not too far from me. So maybe I'll take one of his classes someday just to see what it's like. I think it'd be a pretty good class. I want to talk a little bit about the Yankee Marshall. This dude is a bitter dude. I don't know what it is about him and why he has to call every major gun channel out on YouTube. Not even the ones that do classes, just the people like Mr. Guns and Gear, for instance. He called out Mr. Guns and Gear saying that he was stolen valor. And it turns out he wasn't. And Mr. Guns and Gear proved it. And then Yankee Marshall's not even a big enough man to come on and apologize. That guy, there's something wrong with him. I seriously think there's something wrong with him. He has another agenda. He tries to tell people that what's going on right now, today is July 26th, he tries to say right now that There's not a lot going on in Portland and Seattle, and the news and the media is just blowing that out of proportion. Well, I disagree, because I'm seeing the live video from people there, and it's clearly showing bombs and things being thrown at the police. There was police hurt last night by bombs. Yet he continues to push the narrative that it's just one small block. That's how it all starts. That's how it all starts. I don't know what his agenda is. He called out active self-protection, called that guy a moron. First of all, I met John at the NRA meeting in Indianapolis back in 2019, I guess it was. Couldn't have been a nicer guy. Willing to talk to people, ask you your name, talk to you about whatever you wanted to talk. He tried to, he was trying to get through to go wherever he was going, so he only had so much time. But still, pretty cool dude. The active self-protection channel is doing a series on ballistics gel and shotguns. And before Yankee Marshall even seen any of the videos, he's calling this guy a moron, thinking that ASP is going to say that the ballistics gel represents a human body. But that's not, and then Yankee Marshall continue to say it just gives you a medium that is consistent, which is exactly what John said. But before the Yankee Marshall even knew that, he's calling John a moron and an idiot. And why does he do that? Well, he does that because there are certain people out there that like to hear that drama and that infighting in the community. It helps the Democratic Party more than you would ever know. Let the gun people fight with the gun people. And then hopefully, like I think they're doing with the whole United States at this point, let them destroy themselves from within. And we got to stop that. There shouldn't be, because the Yankee Marshall, he says he doesn't make money, which that's crap. He does make money. He says he gives all his money to help dogs and gives out guns. He probably buys a $300, $400 gun a month for someone. And I don't know how much he donates to rescue animals and things like that. But I guarantee you he's making a pretty good living off of YouTube. And he tries to say that he's not. So he lies. He lies to his subscribers. But people eat that stuff up because he talks crap about other channels. Now, I believe calling out other channels of what we see is probably warranted, especially like I talked about with prices on things. I'm not saying that those channels are bad or those gentlemen are bad. I'm just saying that we don't really have anybody to help us in the community. He calls them idiots and morons. Come on, dude. You seriously got a problem. If you go back and look at Yankee Marshall's beginning and his start of his channel, he has gone a totally different way. When he first started, because I went back and looked, he was talking about guns. Now, he's a 1911 guy, he's a revolver guy, and that's what he talked about because that's what he liked, and he was pretty good at it. Well, the problem with that is it wasn't making him any money. It wasn't getting him any subscribers. So he had to change it up. So that's when he became the self-proclaimed angry gun guy or something, whatever he puts at all the beginning of his videos. Because he knows people eat that stuff up. Doesn't make any sense to me, but hey, more power to him. He's got 300,000 subscribers, I think, and I've got 150. So I'm hoping to get more subscribers by the stuff that I talk about. I'm hoping you'll join me just to see what I have to say. I'm hoping to do a series just about current events, talking about what's going on in the world. just from an average dude that lives in the city, that doesn't have property to go out his back door and shoot, that has to ration my rounds right now because I seen the other day a 1,000 rounds of 5.56 is going for $600 now, which is almost, double what you could have got it for, I don't know, 4 months ago. I understand supply and demand and everything's going up because of this COVID stuff, but now I have to be careful of what I shoot because luckily I listened to some of the people that I watched their YouTube videos, and I stocked up a little bit. I wish I had more, but still. So follow along. If there's anything you want to see, anything that you're struggling with as a big guy and you need help with, let me know and I'll try and review it. I bought a belt. I watched all these videos for years. For years I was just using a department store belt. And it just guns never felt right when I wore them. Well, people kept telling me you got to buy a belt specifically for carrying a weapon, a gun belt, so to speak, a good leather belt with maybe some something inside of it to make it sturdier. So I did that. I'd like to definitely talk about that belt, and the sizing and how all that goes. Talk about a sling that I bought that fits me. Just different things like that. But anyway, please, again, subscribe, like, share, let your friends know. All else fails, you can talk crap in the comments about what an idiot I am. So hopefully I'll have a new name for this channel very soon. I hope you all will enjoy that name, whatever that may be. I have a few ideas and we'll go from there. But I think the next video I'm going to talk about the Glock 19X and why this is possibly one of my favorite guns that I've ever owned and shot. Until then, have a great day. Be kind. Be better.